Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all my Dragonic Overlord Cardfight Vanguard Overdress deck profile for post A Brush with the Legends. With the latest Cardfight Vanguard booster set, we were given the new encounter cards, which are basically remakes of the ancient legend units from the past Vanguard formats. One of them being one of my favorite cards in the entire game, Dragonic Overlord. Definitely excited for this deck. Along with Dragonic Overlord, we were given a bunch of his older units that he used throughout the series, remade for the Cardfight Vanguard Overdress format. It's definitely an interesting take on the deck, focusing on what Dragonic Overlord does best, attacking and restanding, along with some of the additional retire power we have from some of our other cards in the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the ride deck, starting off with our starter, which is Lizard Runner Undo. It shares the same card skill like all the other starters for Overdress format, being when rode upon, if you went second, draw a card. I just really like it for the aesthetic of the deck. It's the starter meant to be used with Dragonic Overlord, having the same encounter bottom ancient tablet kind of card look, and with our grade 1 being Embodiment of Armor Bar. When this unit is rode upon by Dragon Knight in Nahalem, you can counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So with this, you have plenty of search power, whether it be for Bar, Gojo, or any of the other grade 1s we run in the deck. Being able to even search for a Sentinel makes this a quite scary grade 1 to run for the ride deck target. And for our grade 2, we are running Dragon Knight in Nahalem. So riding this card on Bar gives us the grade 1 search, but when this unit is rode upon by a unit with Overlord in its card name, you can call this card to rear. So giving you an additional grade 2 rear guard just to help build up your hand for cards to guard against your opponent, making it so you can at least use this as a rear guard call and having it as a pressure card altogether. With our go-to grade 3 in the ride deck being Dragonic Overlord, it's the boss monster. I was definitely happy to see this card pulled from my packs that I opened. It's just a powerhouse card altogether for the ride deck, and definitely one needed for the overall play style in the Dragonic Overlord deck as a whole, and really the only grade 3 we want to run in the deck as a whole. So for the additional grade 3s for the grade 3 lineup, it's the only one we're running. You can try and run other cards like Trabosh for the additional critical power if you want, and if you were to do so, you can reduce the number of your grade 1s and 2s. I can go over some numbers you can take out, but I really feel Dragonic Overlord is all you need for your plays in the deck. Having a Vanguard or rear guard during the battle, this unit attacked a rear guard. Your opponent cannot call cards from their hand to the guard circle. So with this card, it can take out a good number of your opponent's rear guards, and on Vanguard circle, once per turn when this unit attack hits, counterblast 1, discard a card from your hand, stand this unit, and it gets drive -1 until end of turn. So you have a restand potential Vanguard unit for the Dragon Empire deck in the form of Dragonic Overlord. And if you also get the over trigger with this card, you can still resolve the over trigger first and then attack again to a rear guard with Dragonic Overlord, and then restand it off of that card skill, since with the new rule saying you can just use as many cards as you want or any of these skills in any order you want without the once per turn taking a toll on that play. So 3 additional Dragonic Overlord just so you have that set up in your deck for that pressure of the Persona ride as well, giving your Dragonic Overlord a plus 10,000 power boost against your opponent. For the grade 2s, we are running 3 additional Dragon Knight in Nahalem. Now it has the call to rear guard when it's on the Vanguard circle rode upon by an Overlord, but on the rear guard once per turn, if you have a Vanguard with Overlord in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1 in this unit, and all your Vanguards get plus 5,000 until end of turn. So along with the Persona ride, you can have this card in Dragonic Overlord have numbers of 25,000 and then 28,000 for Dragonic Overlord. Definitely some bigger numbers for your opponent to guard against in total. With our next grade 2 card being Berserk Dragon, we're running 4 of this unit also. On rear guard, when this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Overlord in its card name, it gets plus 5,000 to end of battle. Then you can counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards, and retire it. So Berserk Dragon sticking to the retire power that it is known for. Just being able to take out your opponent's rear guards means that you can hit their back row pretty easily with your Dragonic Overlord covering against your opponent's front row with its attack to then restand afterwards. So the retire power with Berserk Dragon will definitely come in handy. The biggest weakness is obviously that it will dwindle away your counterblast quite quickly, but we have some other cards to help with that in this deck also. with the last of the grade 2s being 3 of the Cruise Rock Dragon. When this unit is placed on rear, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and you may move it to one of your opponent's open front row rear guards. So your opponent may try to play against keeping rear guards in the front row, whether it's, placing into the soul, retiring it for other skills, you name it. And they should at least have some rear guards in the back row for them to use against you. So you can at least use your Cruise Rock Dragon to give this card the pressure against your opponent, putting their units in the front row and then having it so you can attack into it with Dragonic Overlord. And that is it for the grade 2s. Moving on to the grade 1s, running 3 Embodiment of Armor Bar. When this unit is rode upon by Dragon Knight Nahalem, you can counterblast 1 and search your deck for the Vanguard skill ride. But on rear guard, you have the once per turn when your Vanguard attack hits, this unit gets plus 5,000 till end of turn. So if you're going to restand Dragonic Overlord and this card is on rear guard behind Dragonic Overlord, it will guaranteed hit that rear guard since your opponent can't guard against it unless they have enough intercepts to block it, which I really doubt. But this card getting the additional 5,000 power with your Dragonic Overlord potentially being at 28,000 alone with the Persona ride just gives for an even stronger boost against your opponent with just the 1 drive check, but still a match to be reckoned with, or even just as a boost to one of your rear guards since it just has to be on rear guard for the plus 5,000 boost. It doesn't have to be behind your Vanguard circle. And I also run 3 Dragon Monk Gojo on rearguard. When this Vanguard attack hits, this unit boosted hits, you can retire this unit and countercharge 1. So you do use a lot of counterblasts in this deck. So relying on Dragon Monk Gojo for the countercharge with Berserk Dragon, Dragonic Overlord, you name it, all taking away counterblasts, you can at least retire this card and get some counterblasts back. And being searchable with Bar, if you already have your Sentinels and all that taken care of for that search when you ride into home, can be a potential search target also. We do run a good number of grade 1s in the deck. If you wanted to run Trabosh as just an additional grade 3, you can try taking out some Gojos or even Bars for some additional spots for your grade 1s. I also run the 4 Twin Buckler Dragon as the Sentinel to run just for the guard restriction if your hand dwindles down, not having to pay the cost to use against your opponent. With this Sentinel, as long as you have the 2 in hand, being able to block your opponent's attacks with this Sentinel. And like I said, being searchable since you can rely on your Embodiment of Armor Bar for searching out 1 grade 1 card. Doesn't limit you to the Sentinel, of course. And I also run 4 of the Stealth Dragon Tencha Stead. This card, when the attack this unit boosted hits, counterblast 1, retire this unit. Choose one of your Vanguards, search your deck for up to 1 card with the same name as that card, and put it into your hand. Now, this card basically counts as my grade 3 of choice searching, since it can just search out Dragonic Overlord itself by retiring this card, giving you the grade 3 you need for your Persona ride. And this is one card I definitely prefer over any of my grade 3s because my main grade 3 I want to rely on is Dragonic Overlord. With the last of the grade 1 spots being filled by Stealth Dragon Toga Chirashi. With this card, when this unit is discarded from hand during your turn, you may put this unit into your soul. So it can help build up soul and also provide for the cost for when you use your ride deck, whether you were to go into Bar, Nahalem, or Dragonic Overlord. Having this card as the discard cost and then just as the soul additional power is a big plus there to use with some of our other units that we run in the deck, like Dragon Knight Nahalem for its Soul Blast power boost. And moving on now to the grade 0s. The starter was already in the ride deck, so our trigger lineup are 7 criticals, so 4 Blaze Maiden Zone and 3 Conduct Spark Dragon. It can be vice versa. You can run 4 Conduct Spark if you feel it feels more fitting for the Dragonic Overlord deck. But I didn't want to run the front trigger in this deck with the criticals just giving you more pressure for all the different attacks and drive checks that Dragonic Overlord can do. For the draw trigger, 4 of the Rushing Dragon Steel Dilfolo for the draw trigger once again, being a Tachikaze-like unit, but I would say definitely more fitting for the Dragonic Overlord deck, just like the heal trigger being White Light Dragon Parasolis for the heal trigger spot in the Dragon Empire-like deck. With our over trigger being Dragveda, like I said before, with Dragonic Overlord having the pressure of restanding, but also having the over trigger chance to restand it again. This is a quite scary play combo to rely on just when you, let's say, attack your opponent's rearguard with your Dragonic Overlord and you reveal the Dragveda in your hand as the trigger. You can then restand Dragonic Overlord, attacking if they have the other rear guard for the attack with Dragonic Overlord, and then using its once per turn skill to restand again against your opponent, and then having that drive check -1. So in total, 5 drive checks total, with the first one being the twin drive, and then the restand with Drag Veda, attacking with twin drive again, and then with the minus drive happening when you finally use Dragonic Overlord's own skill. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoy the video. Like I said, this is definitely one of my favorite units in all of Cardfight Vanguard, so definitely happy that we were given a chance to see this card in all of its glory in the Overdress format as well. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.